Gee, I wish I had that much power at home. The dogs even bark at me, and I can't keep them quiet. So good evening, and please be seated. Okay, so on behalf of the University of New England College of Osteopathic Medicine, I would like to welcome you to our 19th annual White Coat Ceremony and the welcoming convocation for the college's 38th entering class. So at this time, I'd like to recognize the platform party on my far right, Dr. James Coble. Dr. Coble is the provost and the senior vice president of the University of New England. On the end over here, Dr. Ryan Smith. Dr. Smith is the president of the UNE Alumni Association. Next over here is Dr. Lisa Goldsboro. Lisa is the president of the Maine Osteopathic Association. And then over here, Dr. Jabbar Fazeli, who is representing the Maine Medical Association. The last two individuals that I mentioned are here tonight representing their respective physician associations, and also to be here to welcome the newest class of New England's College of Osteopathic Medicine. And we're pleased to have both of them with us tonight, and let's give them a warm welcome. Now, some of you who are close to here might notice there's a person that I didn't introduce. I will in a little while, because he's just a very special person. Jerry, special. There are some others that I would like to welcome in the audience and recognize, and I wish they would please stand for some applause for you. Eileen Skinner. Eileen Skinner is the CEO and president of Mercy Hospital in Portland. Angela Westhoff. Angela is the executive director of the Maine Osteopathic Association. Mr. Bruce Wagner, the CEO of the Finance Authority of Maine. And we're so glad to have all of you here, and our thanks to you for taking the time out to come here and be with us this evening. Now, there are a few others, and we'd like to have you raise up as I ask you to do, please. So, the faculty of the College of Osteopathic Medicine, please stand and be recognized. Now, the members of our clinical education campuses, please stand and be recognized. And then also our community clinical faculty members, please stand and be recognized. I'd also like to recognize some current and past members of our Board of Trustees who are with us this evening. A past board member, a good friend of mine and a good friend to the college, Dr. John Chang. John, please stand and be recognized. And I'm not sure of the next one, if she's here or not, Dr. Patricia Phillips, but I think that maybe she is not here. Let's give her a hand anyway. Maybe she'll hear it. I'd also like to recognize members of the UNICOM Alumni Association Board, as well as the past alumni board members or officers who are in attendance this evening. Please stand and be recognized. Well, I thank all of you for being with us this evening and for the part that you play in preparing the next generation of osteopathic physicians. So let's give them all a hand for that. Now, let me just talk very briefly about the white coat ceremony, because the gentleman here in back of me is going to give you a little bit more information about it. But I suspect that maybe some of you are here this evening saying, why are we here? What are we doing here? What is a white coat ceremony? Well, the white coat ceremony was developed by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation to, and I quote, create a psychological contract for professionalism and empathy in medicine, end quote. And let me read that again for you, and particularly you students, because this is what it is all about here this evening. And the white coat ceremony was developed by the Arnold P. Gold Foundation to create a psychological contract for professionalism and empathy in medicine. The first white coat ceremony took place not that long ago, in 1993, at the Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons. And literally it has grown and grown and grown since that time. So I believe that there are not very many medical schools now that do not have white coat ceremonies. At UNICOM, we adopted the tradition of holding a white coat ceremony in the early fall of the student's first year to formally mark the transition to becoming student physicians. As a matter of fact, we have our first white coat ceremony speaker present with us this evening. And Dr. Arthur Vandenberg has been a loyal member of the college for a long period of time, taught in the college, but he was the first speaker. So Arthur, stand up and be recognized. Let me address some remarks just to the students, not only the first-year students, but the second-year students also. You know, you're entering a profession now that I've mentioned to all of you again and again. And society will increasingly grant you significant and I hope humbling power and responsibility in your relationships with your fellow man, and especially as it relates to their health and well-being. As you develop the qualities that will make you outstanding physicians, you will grow in knowledge and skills from both the academic and the clinical experiences that you will undertake. Important point, true growth as a future physician means that you must recognize your own weaknesses and strengths and work to develop your confidence, yet all the while maintaining awareness of your own limitations. A very important point. And I, who practiced medicine for just about 30 years, occasionally saw physicians who did not understand their own limitations, and that is something that we do not want to happen to any of you. The class of 2019, to you, you were selected to enter this profession because you have demonstrated the character and the ability necessary to succeed in caring for patients and also advancing the field of medicine. Today, once again, I congratulate you on your achievements and encourage you to contribute, to work hard as you pursue your training to become osteopathic physicians. And I'm looking forward to teaching you and to continue your growth as student physicians. Now, I'd like to introduce to you again Dr. James Coble. And I mentioned Dr. Coble is the Provost and Senior Vice President of the University of New England. I looked at his short bio and thought, well, if I put everything in there in what I'm going to say tonight, we'd be here a long time, Jim. He's done a lot of things. He graduated from dental school at the University of Illinois College of Dentistry, practiced for 20 years thereafter, so he's had a taste of what it's like to practice dentistry. He has held a number of positions in dental education at 6 dental schools, including he was the Dean of the West Virginia University School of Dentistry, the founding Dean at the Western University School of Dentistry, and now the founding Dean for our dental school within the University of New England. In June 2013, he was appointed interim provost of UNE, and in September then of 2013, appointed to be the provost and senior vice president of the university. He continues to be very active in various dental committees and the American Dental Education Association. Now, I want to tell you a little secret that he doesn't know. Did you say, oh no? I'll get you back. He said he would get me back, but we'll see. Now, the one thing that I wanted to tell you about Dr. Coble, he is my boss. And so, you know, once he finishes, a standing ovation would be in order, I think. And then we'll see if he gets me back. Dr. Jim Coble.
Dean Wood made a comment like that earlier today, and I said, well, normally I do get a lot of applause because people are always so happy when I stop speaking. When you've had a long career, and that's part of my success if I've had any, and you've been able to accomplish a lot of things, one of the lessons you learn is you never do anything significant on your own. So if I have achieved any success in life and in my profession, it's because I was in the right place at the right time, and I had a whole lot of people along the way who helped me out. Remember that. I think that's extremely important. It's a real pleasure for me to be here tonight. On behalf of President Ripich, our Board of Trustees, and the entire university community, I want to add my welcome to the family members, friends, staff, and faculty. But the real treat for me at these kinds of events is I get to talk to the students. So the rest of my remarks are really directed toward our students. And the rest of you, if you want to listen in, you can. If you don't, that's okay. You students are really important people. We're really proud and really grateful that you chose UNE for this phase of your education. But tonight, as we recognize the beginning of your professional careers, an even more important person enters the equation, and that's the patient. Quite simply, at least in my view, patients are the reason that the healthcare professions exist. And these patients are our mothers, our fathers, our aunts, uncles, children, significant others. And we all want the people we care for to be cared for in turn by dedicated, skilled healthcare professionals. And you will be those dedicated, skilled healthcare professionals. As I look at you out there, you look so young, you look so great. I see all kinds of promise that you may not even know you have yourselves. You're going to accomplish a lot in your lives and your careers, not only here as students, but as you go out into practice and spend the next 30 or 40 or 50 years taking care of patients. You're going to do amazing things. I promise you that. You're a very select group. The 178 students that are sitting here with us tonight competed with over 4,900 other students who wanted these positions, who wanted to sit here where you are tonight. So congratulations. 16% of you are entering the university with advanced degrees. And you come from a wide variety of backgrounds. We have people who majored in anthropology and music, biology and biomedical engineering, theater and foreign languages, history, political sciences, and psychobiology, just to name a few, and I'm sure I've missed some. You're here tonight, as the Dean mentioned, because of your unique gifts and your talent and your potential. And this is what has secured you a place in what is the ongoing history of the College of Osteopathic Medicine. And trust me, you'll hear more about it tonight. It is a very proud history. Of all the licensed physicians in Maine, more have graduated from this College of Osteopathic Medicine than from any other medical school in the country. Since its founding in 1978, the college has graduated over 3,000 physician alumni. So here at UNE, we have a very proud medical tradition. And as student physicians, you and your classmates will shape the health and well-being of our communities, and you will have an extraordinary impact on the lives and the health of people in Maine and in New England, in the country, and probably for many of you, even around the world. Our university president often describes UNE as a private university with a public mission. Our graduates make a difference in the lives of people each and every day. But we can't rest on our laurels. We can't declare victory and take a break. Part of our role as professionals is to leave the college, to leave the profession, and even to leave the world better than we found it. So there's much progress to be made, progress that you as an osteopathic physician will make possible due to your dedication, compassion, and conviction. Some of you, I'm sure, may doubt yourselves at times, right? We all do. That you won't live up to the accomplishments of the people that have gone before you, that you won't live up to the expectations of your professors, that you may disappoint your parents, your family members. I share with you the words of Dr. Andrew Taylor Still, who is considered the father of osteopathy and osteopathic medicine, who once said, "Let us not be governed by what we did yesterday, nor tomorrow by what we do today, for day by day we must show progress." And progress, as you've probably found, doesn't happen overnight. There are no miracles in life. It's about hard work. Progress is measured in fits and starts. Sometimes we have brilliant ideas that fail miserably, but we learn from those and we go on to be successful. Progress happens in the little moments, sometimes the private moments when nobody's watching. Progress requires you to constantly challenge yourselves, to continue to put yourselves into situations in which you test your limits and expand your possibilities. And I think by coming to medical school, you pretty much will agree with me that you have put yourself in a challenging situation, right? Have you found that out yet? If not, you will. But take advantage of every opportunity to learn. And you can learn from anybody. Anybody you meet has something to teach you. The more you learn, the more skills you master, the more experiences you have, the better you'll be prepared to meet the needs of your patients. Remember those people we call patients. And your education is only the beginning. It's always fun teaching professional students. They're always geared toward graduation. I can't wait till I get done with all this and I get out. And we try not to share the secret that life actually gets a whole lot harder and a whole lot more complex once you graduate and you go out into the world. But I'm telling you that now so you can relax. Know this is a long journey. But education does not end when you graduate, when you get that diploma in 4 years. So you have to dedicate yourself to keep learning, developing new skills, and you have to do that until forever. And once you reach forever, then you can take a break. But other than that, you've got to keep learning. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's part of learning. Of course, you know, as a faculty member, we'd like you not to make the same mistakes over and over and over again, make different ones each time. But there is a reason we call it the practice of medicine, right? Keep in mind the story of the group of young students who went on an outing to visit a famous elderly artist. As the students arrived, the artist was just completing a beautiful painting and was hanging it up to dry. One of the students asked, "How long did it take you to complete that painting?" "It took me about 2 hours to apply the paint to the canvas," replied the artist, "and about 40 years to learn how." The world of healthcare is evolving rapidly. I'm on the board of a hospital. My mind is boggled at each monthly board meeting by the changes that are coming at us so quickly. We see the same thing in higher education. And no matter what anybody tells you, there is no one who knows exactly what the practice of medicine is going to be like in 10, 20, or 30 years. But we don't worry about that here at UNE because our job is not to prepare you for a particular future. Our job is to prepare you for whatever the future holds. Always remember your professional obligations of service, service to your families, service to your patients, service to your communities. As Winston Churchill said, "We make a living by what we get, we make a life by what we give." So tonight, as each of you receives your white coat, we welcome you to the osteopathic medical profession and the significance of the white coat. A reminder of your responsibility to each and every patient that you see. They will trust you. They will trust that you will listen to them and that you have the knowledge and the skill to diagnose and treat their individual health care needs. There is no greater honor than to have another human being entrust themselves to your care. You are, and you will continue to be, worthy of that honor. Thank you. Thank you very much for inviting me to share this special occasion with you. I wish you all the best in the future. Please enjoy the rest of the evening.
Well, thank you, Dr. Coble. I would now like to introduce to you again Dr. Lisa Goldsboro. She is the president of the Maine Osteopathic Medical Association. She is also a graduate of this particular medical school, the University of New England College of Osteopathic Medicine, in the class of 1987. After that, she completed a one-year rotating osteopathic internship at the Osteopathic Hospital of Maine before beginning a pediatric residency at Morristown Memorial Hospital. Dr. Goldsboro was the chair of the College of Osteopathic Medicine Pediatrics Department for 18 years, so for quite a long period of time. As chair, she developed the pediatrics curriculum, precepted students, and actively participated in classroom teaching. Currently, she practices in Kennebunk as part of the Southern Maine Healthcare. Dr. Goldsboro.
Pediatrician by trade, so I spend my day talking to little people in short sentences, so I'll be brief. Dean Wood, members of the faculty, students, family, and friends, on behalf of the Maine Osteopathic Association, myself, members of my board of directors, and DOs from across this great state of Maine, I would like to congratulate the class of 2019. Students, I'd ask you, look to your left. Go ahead. Now look to your right. You are among a select group, for you were chosen by the admissions committee of this college from nearly 5,000 applicants, as Dr. Coble mentioned, to become a member of this class of 2019. They saw in each one of you the characteristics that they know are necessary to become an exemplary osteopathic physician. Make no mistake, the easy part is over. And your journey will be difficult, but in 4 years, you will join the fastest growing part of the American healthcare system, osteopathic medicine. The patients you meet along the way each have something to teach you. I charge you to remember to listen, not just with your brain, but also with your heart. And remember to thank them each and every day for offering themselves to your education. Now to the parents, spouses, and family here tonight, as I watched you all stream in from upstairs, your pride is palpable and well-deserved. For no student arrives at this place without the strong love and support of family. A year ago, I sat in a hall much like this in Chicago, and I watched my son and his classmates receive their white coats. And it was a memorable night. Tonight, I offer my congratulations to your families, and if you'll allow me, a bit of advice. Parents, don't take it personally if your text messages go unanswered, or it takes a week to get a reply to an email. Know that your student is here, working hard, focused on their goal of becoming an osteopathic physician. And know, too, that a care package is always appreciated. To the members of the class of 2019, congratulations on your achievement, and welcome to the osteopathic family.
Thank you, Dr. Goldsboro. Important words. Thank you. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Jabbar Fazeli, representing the Maine Medical Association. And I'll tell you something else I'm not going to ask you for, a standing ovation. But he was kind enough to fill in for the president of the Maine Medical Association, who was called to an ICU unit for an emergency. So we really appreciate having you here this evening.
Safety first. So I'm Jabbar Fazeli. I'm actually the chairman of the board for the Maine Medical Association. And some of you may wonder, what the heck am I doing here at a DO school? And the uniqueness of Maine is that for a very long time, and we still think that this school was our medical school. And so we watch you guys, and we've done so for 162 years at the association before my time. And we are the closest thing to a union that we have, along with the Osteopathic Association. So you will look forward to a day when you graduate, and I know you will. When you are all physicians, the majority of you will not know that you have an association, but the minute that you have any needs, you know we're there. Now, just as a perk, I thought I'll give you a little tip on the evolution of the white coat. This is your first time wearing one, so it's exciting. You will also reach a point in your medical student evolution when you become an attending and you will not have one. And you will have to borrow one like I just did. And it might not be from the same gender. And so some of you who gave me some hugs, I smell of perfume for that reason. But we're looking forward to having you as doctors in the state of Maine, for those of you who will stay with us. And we're there for you. We got your back with the association. People like me will always be volunteering, and hopefully some of you will volunteer for the Osteopathic Association and the Medical Association to sit on our boards, our committees, to shape your own future, to advocate for your own selves. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Fazeli, and we appreciate you filling in. Wonderful job. Just bear with me a little bit, because what I'm going to talk about for a couple of minutes that I think you students probably know, but there might be others in the audience who are not that familiar with our college. So, New England's College of Osteopathic Medicine has played an important role in addressing the primary care and rural health needs for the state, the region, and the country. And as a matter of fact, 36% of the physicians providing rural care in Maine are graduates of the University of New England College of Osteopathic Medicine. 61% of the physicians providing primary care within the state are alums of our college. Our alums are the #1 providers of physician services for the state of Maine, certainly a significant accomplishment for an institution that has just brought in its 36th class. Our influence does not really stop here in the state of Maine, in that we find now that we are having a significant and growing influence throughout various parts of New England, and with many of our graduates practicing and assuming leadership roles in all of the New England states. And because of this, what I would say is we certainly are New England's College of Osteopathic Medicine. You agree with that? Yeah. You know, and whether you as students and graduates, you will find that it will go by very, very quickly, and hopefully that I may be on that stage to shake your hand when you graduate. But it really is important to us that a fair number of you would choose to pursue a career in the primary care areas, which is one of the things that is missing in this country when we compare this country with a lot of other foreign countries. But if you choose to pursue a specialty field, then I can assure you that you will have the finest medical education and a world of opportunity in which to pursue your dreams. Think back with me for a bit. These opportunities that you have might not have been possible, at least within the New England region, if it had not been for a group of osteopathic physicians who had a desire to provide distinctively osteopathic care to the people in this region. They were mindful of the aging population also of New England and New England osteopathic physicians, and the limited number of schools that were in existence at that time. And they were a committed group of individuals who came together to create a vision which eventually resulted in the formation of the New England College of Osteopathic Medicine. Now, I cannot tell you how pleased I am to have one of those founders who eventually became the dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine and then helped to develop many of the programs in what we now call the Westbrook College of Health Professions. His vision of healthcare education and his foresight not only helped to create the College of Osteopathic Medicine, but it also actively contributed to the development of the University of New England as we now understand it. He's a visionary in many respects. Dr. J. Jerry Rodas is a recognized leader in medical education as well as healthcare policy development. And I'm very pleased to introduce one of the original founders of the College of Osteopathic Medicine and also our speaker for tonight for this white coat ceremony, Dr. J. Jerry Rodas.
Thank you. I'm overwhelmed by that, but then again, I'm overwhelmed at the campus. And I'm going to tell you why. First, when you're this end in the speakers program, everybody has said what you were going to say, which is why I never prepare a talk, because I'm not going to give it anyway. So I'm going to answer 3 questions that you didn't ask. It's hard to answer questions that you don't ask. I'm going to answer the question, why is there an osteopathic college in Biddeford, Maine? You haven't asked that question yet. In the middle of the winter, you'll ask that question. The second is, why are we putting on white coats instead of black frock coats? Since you didn't even know what that was about, you couldn't have asked the question anyway. And the third is, I want to add something to the meaning of the white coat that has become critically important, but no one talked about so far. So I have something new to say. First, let me tell you how you got here. Besides with the help of your loving family and friends and your own work, in 1971, and I'm going to skip the earlier days, there was a Massachusetts College of Osteopathy. It went defunct in 1942 because it lost its accreditation. It was a privately owned school, sister school to the Middlesex College of Medicine, and the AOA closed it by taking away its accreditation because it was really, in their view, a substandard school. At the time, and for the next 30 years, there were 5 to 7 osteopathic hospitals because DOs couldn't get privileges in MD hospitals until 1955, and that was slow to grow. And as the age came by, we had very few young DOs in New England, and we had a lot of 60, 70, and 80-year DOs, but we were under 200 for the entire region. And our average age, I was one of the young kids, right? Art Vandenberg was one of the young kids. Maybe we were 35, 40 years old. So the majority of the folks were up here at the upper age. 65% of them practiced rural medicine and primary care in New England. As they were going downhill, we couldn't get enough students into the 5 remaining DO schools. 5. We now have 35. And so Bob Brown, Massachusetts Osteopathic Hospital, sent a letter out to all the DOs in New England inviting them to a meeting at Lexington in 1971. April, I think. April the 8th, to be exact. And the meeting was to be held on April 28th. Fortunately, we missed April Fool's Day because the rest of this project is an adventure you wouldn't believe. We had been talking, Dr. Brown, and by the way, 50 people came to the meeting, and they were very interested. Northeastern was interested, and the new president at Northeastern University, so I'm going to tell you why you're not in Boston. The new president was Asa Knowles, who was really interested in developing an osteopathic medical school. And he appointed Thompson, Dr. Thompson, who was the director of development, and with whom the DOs had been in contact before. And they chatted with Dr. Leroy Cagle, who was the dean of the College of Pharmacy. He was a patient of an osteopathic physician. He was enthusiastic. He was very charismatic. And the people on campus respected him. They went to visit other osteopathic schools. They developed a real discussion. And in 1972 or 3, he was mugged on the campus of Northeastern and died of the wounds inflicted. And the air went out of the system at Northeastern. Dr. Knowles wrote us a letter saying, well, we're sorry, but we don't have the resources to create a medical school. And he looked at an allopathic model to get that conclusion. I'll come to that in a minute. 1971, after that meeting, we created the New England Foundation of Osteopathic Medicine. Its job was to start this school. And it had 3 tasks. Where would the school be? What would it be? And was it going to stand alone or be part of a university? The board met every month, and almost everybody attended. My favorite story is Dr. Leonard Strong, who must be, at that time, have been in his late 70s, who practiced in Vermont, a little town, who would get on the bus on Friday night, come down to Boston, get in at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, go to Mass Osteopathic Hospital, curl up in the library, and take a nap until we started the meeting at 9:30. That's how dedicated this group was. But I don't want you to think it was just the founders. The profession has been unbelievable. So let me try to condense the next part. Over the years, we were not very successful in finding a home. We looked at campuses that were vacated. We looked at schools, 4, who said we were interested. 3 of them were not interested at all. So we were out of options. When a chance meeting between Bill Bergen, who was one of the founders, and a classmate of mine, and treasurer, I'm sorry, I was treasurer. He was the secretary. Now, can you imagine anybody trusting me with money? I can't balance my checkbook. Okay. So, he was ice skating one day, and his next door neighbor was Jack Ketchum, who had just been appointed to try to save the financially dying St. Francis College. Jack got interested. Dr. Bergen came back at the next board meeting and said we should investigate this. And there was a lot of discussion because St. Francis College was in turmoil not just financially. It was in turmoil about its mission. Census had dropped down to below 700, and it was not doing very well at all and didn't know where it was going. But they were interested. We came to V's visit with the president. The name escapes me. The dean I remember because his name was Crotty. I think it was MacArthur. Very nice people, very interested. We were impressed. Despite the financial challenge, we proceeded to select St. Francis College at Biddeford, Maine, as the home of the New England College of Osteopathic Medicine, or the University of New England College of Osteopathic Medicine. Then we became a university. Now, the role of the profession. The requirements at the time for accreditation, and this is a long list that at the moment you don't have to memorize, and it changes about as quickly as your textbooks, was to have $500,000 in escrow. That's a lot of money, especially when you don't have any. So we went to the Maine legislature and asked for a $250,000 grant, which the legislature passed, as it had done for a medical school the year before. And the governor vetoed it, as he had done with the medical school bill the year before. Longley, I think, was the governor. This bill went back for an override. The medical bill lost. And for the hard work of the people in the legislature, and a very important thing, Ross Bates, who was president of the foundation and had passed away the year before, had been Speaker of the Bain House, and people loved him. Just the shadow of Ross Bates overrode the governor's veto. We had 250,000. But as you well figured out, you're still short 250,000. And nobody came forward to say, I have this in petty cash. How did we raise the other 250,000? DOs signed notes equaling $250,000, and we met the financial requirements. The story doesn't end, but this is a thumbnail history, so I'm going to skip a lot of parts. The development of the school was delayed for 2 years because we had trouble with accreditation. And the problem with accreditation wasn't the program, and it wasn't the faculty. It was the fact that the faculty, the clinical faculty, had volunteered to teach the first 2 years for ZIP. They didn't believe we could get people to do that. And they were concerned about St. Francis's finances. And that in itself is a story of its own. So I'm going to just move that aside, except for you to recognize it was there. So the DOs in New England, from as far away as Connecticut, in a systems curriculum which we then had because it would fit the needs, and with early community involvement of community medicine activity to just show you what goes on in the world and how patients depend on you and use healthcare services, they contributed the first 2 years of teaching for free. We had apartments on campus. They would come, stay. They would come to group meetings. And what they couldn't do, the basic science faculty changed the program, manipulated, did things. And the basic science faculty did something else. Wherever a college closed in New England, they were there buying equipment. We even got an electron microscope. Wonderful, because a place closed. And by year 3, while we paid a minimal sum to the faculty, they returned 78% of it. They just gave it back to the college. It dropped into the 50s in year 4. So the profession made a large commitment to the success of the early days. So while I may be the last founder, I am certainly not the last participant in the founding of the school you were attending. That's how you got to Biddeford, Maine. I look at this campus, and my wife and I have been around because she came here to work and forced me to marry her. And it was the best move I ever made. This is the second. Watching you and what's happened to this university has been really rewarding. Now, question 2, why aren't you wearing a black frock coat? Because that's what physicians used to wear. The 2 professions that dressed in black were ministers and doctors, because seeing a minister was serious business. And seeing a doctor in the 19th century was also serious business and usually resulted in death. This was not a good time for American medicine, or medicine in general. We hadn't gotten into the scientific era until the end of the 19th century. And then all of a sudden, by a number of stories which nobody can verify, doctors started to wear white for purity, for truth, right? Because now we were becoming more scientific and there was hope, right? Whatever the reason was, and as I looked at this for hours, there's no clean, clear cut definition of why we now wear white. But the patient understands that white means you're dedicated to their care. I'll make a comment about that in a moment. So that's why you're not wearing a black frock coat. Nurses, by the way, were in the same boat. Most nursing was done by religious orders, and they wore what? Black. And it wasn't until 1901, and this we now know about the historical fact, that Mary Alice McLaughlin, who was the director of nurses at the oldest hospital in this country, which was Philadelphia General, no longer in existence, decreed that all nurses, not religious orders, had to wear white. And she designed the first nursing cap which distinguished one school from another. You couldn't even tell that now. Most of you don't even know nurses who wear caps. However, that's a piece of useless history that you tack away. It will not be on the exam, but if it turns up, you'll know the answer. So that's why you're wearing white. The first portrait of doctors in white was a painting done at the University of Pennsylvania in 1898. And those surgeons and their assistants were in white jackets. The one painted right at Mass General in 1892 showed everybody in formal attire. Can you imagine doing an amputation wearing your tuxedo? So the last piece. This is my 55th year in practice, and yes, I still work. Now, the patient you've already heard about, and how important the patient is. It's what you train to take care of. That's the most important thing. But I want to talk to you for a moment about the second most important thing, and that's you. You cannot take care of the patient if you're not whole. So I want you to remember the slogan, be good to yourself. And be good to yourself means when you recognize that the tension is too great and you need to find what rejuvenates you, do it. Identify those things which rejuvenate you short term, quick weekend, and what you need time for. This is critically important in a world which keeps getting between you and your patient, causing cognitive dissonance. You have a goal of what you want to be as a physician, and people keep interfering between you and your patient. And you will go through a number of years yet before this all gets put back into balance. Remember what your goal is. Remember to be good to yourself. That's important. It was wonderful being with you, and I appreciate your applause, and I appreciate your attention before I talked.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rodas, for your informational and inspiring message. Some of you might have noticed that seated with our first-year students are the second-year students, those in the class of 2018, who will serve as sponsors for our new first-year students. This class, the class of 2018, has been with the first-year students with them from when they interviewed, corresponded with them, answered questions as they decided which medical school they wanted to attend, participated with them in osteoblasts, organizing their orientation in August, and serving as tutors. It is fitting that this class of 2018 walk alongside of the new colleagues on this special night. The second-year students are not the only ones who will walk this path. So will all members of the physician community, be they here tonight or crossing the path of these future student physicians. Before we have the students come to the stage to receive their white coats, I would like to acknowledge another group who are escorted the first and second-year students into the auditorium this evening. And they're all over here. Would Brandon White stand? Shayla DeLay, please stand. Caitlin Chartamando. Mark Unger. Darcy Wilcott. And Elizabeth Zamore. Now, just to let you know, these 6 students are fellows in our Osteopathic Manipulative Medicine Anatomy Department fellowship program. They have decided to extend their academic program by 1 additional year in order to gain in-depth knowledge in anatomy and osteopathic manipulative medicine. While they are fellows, they serve as instructors in both of these departments. They participate in research projects and care for patients. And as fellows, also, they bridge the world between faculty and students and serve as teaching partners for those in the class of 2019. So please join me in recognizing their collective efforts. So now, fellows, I think you know what's next. If you would begin to escort the students to the stage for the presentation of their white coats.
Who? So you want Fatima up first? Are we sure? Nice job. Right on that one. Are we ready? Okay. First student, Fatima Ali. Amir Abdullah. Joshua Allen. Brendan Allison. Mark Amaralt. Ignatius Ang. Ryan Apgar. Heather Arsenal. Subhana Usjed. Ryan Bailey. Jasmine Bajwa. Nicholas Ballard. Ross Barman. Crystalline Bates. Danielle Beard. Jared Bowden. Justin Berkner. Neelam Bafizar. Nancy Bobrish. Emily Ann Boone. Alexander Borges. Caitlin Bothwell. Michael Bressler. Daniel Brodmerkel. Stephanie Bruley. Cameron Bubar. Kevin Budashevsky. Amy Callahan. Sarah Copabianco. And Oliver Carden. Kelly Carrero. Christopher Casaccio. Anne Chaco. Sophia Chan. Alexander Sachet. Tiffany Chung. Jenny Chang. Tamara Chen. Ellen Clark. And Leah Clay. Almost. We're still early. Okay. Okay. Emily Kolpas. Kevin Connolly. Ian Corbett. Kate Cosgrove. Michael Damiani. Michael D'Amico. Ridhi Desai. Corinne Dignan. Cameron Douglas. Kyle Drelo. Ready to rock and roll? Rachel Draper. Ethan Dwayne. Saif Elmala. Catherine Versace. Cassier Farsam. Robert Fitzpatrick. Kevin Ford. Tara Formisano. Joseph Gallagher. Granita Giudici. Merrill Gold. Alexander Concalves. Sarah Gorham. Garrett Garassi. Christopher Gonzalez. Daniel Greenberg. Rebecca Greenspan. Marissa Guzzardo. Solji Ha. Tyler Haddad. Kevin Haynes. Robert Harmon. Jessica Harnish. Marissa Hoboken. Jeffrey Hollander. Sarah Horton. Victoria Huckstein. Cosmine Jacoban. Kenneth Ayerardi. Frank Jackson. Manan Jane. Raunak Kamancharia. Robert Kyleg. Neha Kidwai. Mark Curon. Ryan Collar. Alexandra Kolnick. Paige Cuby. Patrick Krapaska. Joseph LaFond. Stephanie Lai. Brooke Learned. Jessica Leonard. John Lesso. Ula Lewandowski. Shiwei Lee. Caroline Libby. Annie Liu. Alexandra Loomis. Roger Liu. Okay. Ready? Rishi Mamtani. Benjamin Markeski. Pasquale Maratta. Frank Marowitz. Tiago Martins. Sarah Mooney. Elizabeth Mazzio. Kathleen McMahon. Nahit Mata. Natalie Monroe. That was all I had. I even crossed them off. Sorry. Are there 10 of you or 11 of you? There's 11 of you. Yeah. Catherine Moulton. Kimberly Movsesian. Michael Moser. Alexandra Nelawansky. Casey Neville. Kevin Neville. Gretchen Nonaman. Manuela Noriega. Swathi Newley. Cashel O'Brien. I only have 10. You having fun yet? Me too. Samuel Pock. Sophia Panaccione. James Pash. Ian Pelletier. Ethan Percy. Sarah Pope. Jennifer Putstai. Helen Rushed. Nicole Rainville. Cindy Raganathan. Sanjay Rao. Jordan Reeder. Peter Ripberger. Nicole Rota. Jonah Ruddy. Gianpaolo Rufo. Jacqueline Russell. Shruti Samala. Michaela Sangelo. Alyssa Sano. Catherine Saunders. Abby Schickner. Megan Shackford. Alexander Sherman. Priyanka Shetty. Laura Singleton. Samantha Sojawe. Brittany Speck. Daniel Sigalovsky. Erica Sorrentino. Okay. Ready? Robert Spetrini. Derek Starkey. Azriel Stinson. Tessera Strand. Elizabeth Tarbox. Eleanor Tillo. Sheila Thomas. Victor Tin. Logan Toddhunter. Anna Tomasini. Stephanie Sang. Jessica Urso. Caroline Vale. Andrew Vetter. Jacob Warner. Elizabeth Wilcox. Jeff Wisnowski. Elise Wojcik. Talia Wolfgang. Samuel Wood. Only a few, right? Messina Wright. Adrienne Worsey. Austin Yang. Richard Zhang. Zechariah Zielinski. And Rachel Zimmerman.
Okay, probably about 5 minutes, and you can go back there and eat and drink and things like that. No, not to drink. I forgot that. Okay. Dr. Ryan Smith, a member of the class of 2010 and now president of the Unicom Alumni Association. Please come to the lectern to address our student doctors and lead them in taking their oath of honor.
Good evening, everybody. I always say that the two most important or best parts of being the Alumni Association president is giving the oath of honor to you all this evening and giving you all the osteopathic oath at graduation. And I've been the president now, I believe, 4 years. Dean Kelly can correct me if I'm mistaken. But I do believe that 4 years ago, I gave the oath of honor to the first year class, and they will now be graduating this year. So I've been thinking about that a lot recently, and it's just a wonderful thing that I've been able to sort of follow those students from the time that they came here to the time that they leave. And certainly I hope, as a faculty member also, to be here when you all graduate. I might not be the president of the association anymore, but I do hope to be at your graduation and see you all walk across the stage. It's a wonderful part of being a faculty member in a medical school. So it's very heartwarming. It is, yes. Now, I am a psychiatrist, so I do tend to be fairly verbose, but I'll keep it to the 5 minutes that Dr. Wood mentioned. As you all know, I can be very verbose. So earlier this evening, you signed the oath of honor, which is here on our stage. After this evening, this oath will be hung in the Alphon Center for Health Sciences as a daily reminder of the commitment that you all made here this evening. Tonight, you'll take the oath of honor in front of your family, friends, and colleagues. In 4 years' time, you'll take the osteopathic oath and leave here as a doctor of osteopathic medicine, and you will make it, don't worry. The journey to becoming an osteopathic physician starts every day, long before you've had the opportunity to take the osteopathic oath. It starts now, each and every day, that you are pursuing your dream of becoming an osteopathic physician. You demonstrate the path that you have chosen by how you conduct yourself, both in and out of school, in how you interact with your colleagues, the manner in which you treat others, and in how you take personal responsibility for your actions. This is your oath of honor. Would all members in the class of 2019 please rise? Okay. All right. So please join me in reading the oath of honor. And I'm going to ask you all to repeat after me as I state different lines in the osteopathic oath. Some that I'm going to say are not verbatim from your program, so just repeat after what I say. Okay, this is a test of immediate recall, okay? All right, ready? Okay. In being accepted as a member of the UNICOM family, I have been entrusted with the privilege to learn the art and science of osteopathy. A unique gift that I vow to share in promoting whole person health, body, mind, and spirit. I acknowledge the honorable success in both academic life and in the practice of medicine, which requires an unwavering commitment to certain ethical and professional principles. Very good. Therefore, I accept the high calling before me by vowing my allegiance to the following core UNICOM values. Service before self, stewardship, honesty, integrity, responsibility, compassion, respect, perseverance. I publicly vow to commit myself to ethical, professional, and medical excellence. To uphold the letter and spirit of this honor code. And to encourage, remind, and expect my peers to do the same. That we might preserve the dignity and honor of our school, our community, and our profession. Congratulations to you all. I look forward to the day when I am able to watch you all take your osteopathic oath at your graduation. You may all be seated. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. You know, another group of special people that are here with us tonight are the family and friends of our students. This is likewise a very special night for you, and I thank all of you for being here with us. I'm sure the student doctors in the class of 2019 would like to join me in thanking you for the special role you have played in their development. No, wait, why don't you stay standing up? This is not up and down and up and down, but what I'd like you to do is to face the audience. Families, friends, physicians, colleagues, it is my great pleasure to officially present the future physicians of 2019. And my personal congratulations to all of you. This concludes our white coat ceremony, and I would now like to invite everyone to join us for a reception honoring the class of 2019, which will be right in back of us. I would also ask that the family and friends please remain in your seats while the fellows escort the students out of the auditorium and into the reception area. Thank you very much for being here.